manufacturers. In this Inside Wall Street segment, Building America with New England's Best, we'll tell you about another aspect to that story, and it's most interesting. Business and industry are eager to develop applications that are impossible today because of either a lack of computer power or an exorbitant cost for that power. A company called Kendall Square Research of Waltham, Massachusetts, is a trailblazer in the area of technology that will solve this dilemma. That technology is called parallel processing, which links together a large number of small, relatively inexpensive processors to actually outperform the current generation of mainframes and supercomputers. Kendall Square Research was begun in 1986 by Henry Burkhardt, a man who became a major player in the computer world when he helped found Data General at the tender age of 23. It was launched with $65 million raised from private investors and went public in March of last year. The company received a lot of attention when it began shipping its KSR-1 second-generation parallel processing machine, which has a unique shared memory architecture. Building America's Kurt Voorhees talks with Mr. Burkhardt, Kendall Square Research's president and CEO, and with analyst Joseph Payne of the brokerage firm Alex Brown & Sons.
Henry, describe parallel processing for us in a little more detail, perhaps starting with the origins.
Well, parallel processing is an elegant notion that's been around for about 30 years, and the idea has been to gang up several processors, sometimes hundreds, on a single problem at the same time. 30 years ago, this was used in military command and control systems. It required high levels of performance, and national security considerations caused us not to pay too much attention to the costs. The breakthrough in recent years has been to enable technologies that enable the use of this idea for a wide variety of economically efficient problems.
Where do you see your product having the greatest impact?
Well, parallel processing will enable new solutions to very complex problems, and there are two types of problems that a machine like ours can be effective at. One is number crunching problems, simulating large, complex physical objects, and the second is processing large volumes of data and transactions.
What are some of the applications?
Well, in the first case, number crunching, we will see machines of this sort used to speed up the design of pharmaceuticals, herbicides, other types of complex chemical systems, or complex mechanical systems, such as more efficient automobile engines that are also cleaner burning. Another example is in medical claims processing. Large volumes of data, often very complex, that need to be evaluated and moved between the various medical insurers and medical providers. Computing, particularly computing of very high performance, can lower the costs of that quite dramatically.
Henry, who do you envision as your competition, and how are you positioning yourself against them?
We see two kinds of competitors. The first kind are existing companies, the makers of vector supercomputers such as Cray Research, or the makers of large mainframes like IBM. Against these companies, our products offer much higher levels of performance and much lower costs of purchase and ownership. The other type of competitor we see are new vendors of parallel computers. And against those, our product is different because it's much easier to use. It's much easier to bring new programs onto it, much easier to bring existing programs onto it. And these reasons, we think, will begin to greatly differentiate us from other computer system companies.
The people in Wall Street have praised your strategy, but do have concerns over the change in thinking required to adopt your systems. Would you comment on that?
Well, one of the characteristics of our product that we spent considerable effort in the design has to do with the underlying architecture. It's a shared memory machine, making it easy to move existing programs to the machine or to develop new and exciting applications using this very high-performance computing technology.